Princeton University professor Eddie Glaude was on MSNBC and perfectly summed up the fatal flaw of bipartisanship in today's political discourse. Check this out.
Look, it is one thing to call for bipartisanship. It makes sense to me on a certain level. But bipartisanship, just as agreement and disagreement, must presume a set of background conditions that allow us to disagree. In other words, what I mean by this, if you have some among us who are willing to throw democracy into the trash bin in the name of a view that this country must remain white, it must remain in the hands of a particular segment of the population, and they're willing to throw democracy away in the name of that, there is no ground to have bipartisan relationships with them. There's no basis to compromise with them, because if you do, you become complicit in undermining the very foundations of American democracy. So we got to get clear on those folk who agree to the background conditions for us doing work in this country. That is, they agree to the basic principles of democratic life in this country. And we know that a whole bunch of folk, not only do they not agree with the facts, Nicole, they don't agree with the very principles of democracy themselves. That's the key. They are not Democrats, small d. They don't believe in who we are as a country. And we need to understand that. And I'm talking directly to Tucker Carlson. I'm talking directly to Sean Kennedy. I'm talking directly to Mitch McConnell. I'm talking directly to Kevin McCarthy. I'm talking directly to all of these folk who are willing to throw this country away. Just as those folk in the South were willing to rebel and killed over 600,000 people because they didn't believe in it. That's what we have to do, Nicole. That's the ground for us to begin to do the work to salvage this place and imagine it otherwise. I know that was a bit emotional, but I guess that's what I do.
Now, there are a few people on MSNBC that I think are worth listening to, that are actually allowed on the network. One of them is Ali Velshi, the other is Anand Giridharadas, and the other is Eddie Glaude. Eddie Glaude here is spot on. And it's so important to have voices like this in mainstream media discussing this fatal flaw in the idea of bipartisanship, because there is no unity with insurrectionists. There is no unity with white nationalists. There's no unity with the Boogaloo Boys. Because if you do try and unite with them, it won't be them compromising their values. It would be us compromising ours. So it's important to understand you can't compromise with people who want to see a very different country than the one that we want to see. We want to see a country with equality. We want to see people have equal rights. They don't. So there is no uniting, there is no bipartisanship with people like that. And that includes lawmakers that back those individuals, that listen to that kind of base. People like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and basically the entire party, though a lot more quietly. But there is no uniting with lawmakers like that. At the same time, it is also still important to reach out to people who could be taken in by their bullshit. So it's very important to be able to separate the actual groups like the Boogaloo movement. It's important to separate people that are a member of that movement from the individuals who may be fooled into thinking that movement represents their interests. So it is still very important to reach out to a wide range of people, and that isn't just through, media, but it's through unionizing, organizing. It's through discussions with people on the ground and understanding what their needs are and being able to serve those needs and showing that you can help them in whatever struggle that they're facing. So this is the kind of thing where it requires a lot of work. It's really easy to be reactionary. It's really easy to fall into the idea that, oh, everyone in power is against me. They're all bad. Let's just take it all down. It's really easy to fall into that bullshit. It's a lot tougher to actually do the work and improve society. So that involves organizing, unionizing, and being able to talk to people who normally may not agree with you or may not be educated on these issues, but it requires educating those people, getting involved, and ensuring that they are part of the discussion.